And as a nice sort of summation of this whole period of the rise of multiculturalism, and in it, a playwright, an Asian American playwright named D.H.H., who's written a play called *The Butterfly*, accidentally casts a white actor as the Asian lead in his follow-up to *M. Butterfly* called *Face Value*. And when he finds out that he has made this mistake, he tries to cover up the vow because he doesn't want to damage his reputation as an Asian American role model. Hopefully hilarity ensues. So I just want to read a quick scene from *Face Value*, from *Yellow Face*, which is between D.H.H. and his father, who's Henry Hwang, or H.Y.H. And at this point, the Miss Saigon thing has happened, and as in real life, Jonathan Pryce was allowed to do the part on Broadway, and the father calls, and David picks up. Hello? Dave? Hi, Dad. Wait a second. Go. And David says, what happens to the connection? I'm using my new speakerphone. Well, it sounds like crap. What? I said, it sounds like, could you speak off? It's hard to hear over this thing. Then pick up the receiver. I'll turn up the volume. This is feedback. Ah, your mother, just pick up the phone. She didn't teach me how to use this thing. Pick up the phone. But that will turn off my speakerphone. Your speakerphone is shit. Why do you have to talk like that? He picks up the phone, the sound effect goes up. And Dad says, you're right. This speakerphone is shit. Dad, I'm a little busy right now. Doing what? I'm trying to write a new play. Good idea. What's that supposed to mean? I said it was a good idea. It's only been 3 years since *M. Butterfly*. But you look smart. Keeping your name in the newspapers, that's good, son. I mean, all that Miss Saigon stuff, thank God, it's finally starting to die down. But so many articles on you, free publicity. But everyone disagreed with me. Everyone! All the big shot guys, Dick Cavett, Ed Koch. Wait, this was my favorite. You saved the articles? I am ashamed of my union, Actors' Equity. Oh yeah, Charlton Heston. When I was working in a laundry, could I ever have dreamed that one day Charlton Heston would write about my son? I'm telling you, this is the land of opportunity. That Miss Saigon, such a big hit. Don't remind me, okay? Looks so beautiful. All those girls, classy. They're half naked, playing prostitutes. But they're classy prostitutes. You haven't even seen the show. But I saw pictures in the newspaper. That producer, what's his name? Cameron McIntosh. He talks about the musical so beautiful. A young Vietnamese girl who gives up her baby to find a better life in America. Actually, she dies. The girl, she kills herself. It's her baby who finds a better life in America. That's even more beautiful. It's not a butterfly set in Vietnam. Dave, you should do something like that. Is that what your new play is about? Madam Butterfly set in Vietnam? How could I possibly? It's already been done. See, I'm just so ignorant about these things. Besides, I already wrote a play criticizing Madam Butterfly. What play was that? *M. Butterfly! Oh, right. You know, poor *M. Butterfly. The play is a little weird. We've been over this. When I come to New York next month, can you get me some tickets to *M. Butterfly*? It closed last year. No, Miss Saigon. I can't believe my good friend, Dick Buttons, Vice Chairman of United California Bank, he told me he was in New York last month and he couldn't even get a ticket. I told him, next time you go, you ask my son. What? I told him, my son, he knows the producers, they're good friends, he worked on the show. Dad, I protested the show. What's the difference? That McIntosh, he knows how much you've done for his show, and I'll tell you something, he's grateful to you. Fine, I'll get you tickets. I'll get your friend tickets. Anyone you know who can't get into Miss Saigon, just have them give me a call. Thanks, but not right now. Why not? Because you're working. I'm trying. What are you writing about? Nothing. Your father's just curious. It's about Rudyard Kipling, okay? The guy who wrote the Jungle Book, Kipling. I'm working on a play that deconstructs his life and work. Dad? I'll tell you the thing about Miss Saigon. Really? Because it's real. A Vietnamese prostitute falls in love with some white soldier and kills herself so her baby can come to America. Things like that happen all the time. How can you say you don't know how much people want to come to America? I see that girl and I think, she's like me. You killed yourself. No, but I would have. That's how much I wanted to come here. Even when I didn't know anything more about America than I saw in Shanghai at the movies. Even then, I knew my real life wasn't the one I was living in China. Second son of a cheapskate father who didn't even know how to raise children. I knew that was my fake life, and my real life was here. All those movie stars, Humphrey Bogart, and Clark Gable, and Frank Sinatra, they were the real me. So when I finally got here, I kept on pushing. Until one day, after I started a bank and it became a success, I looked around at my office on the 39th floor, my house, the swankiest part of San Marino, my Mercedes, my kids all in top colleges, and I thought, now, I am finally living my real life here in America. That's why the girl kills herself. Because when you can see your real life and it's someplace else, then what's the point? If you lose hope you'll ever get there, then even if you kill yourself, it makes no difference. Dad, I gotta go. Sure, son, but why? I think I know what I want to write about. Something besides that Jungle Book guy? Yeah. Good. I now feel that ethnicity is one part of my identity. And that simply knowing that gives me a little clue to where I am, who I am, but it doesn't solve the riddle of identity. I now feel that authenticity is ever-changing. And I feel that my Chineseness is important. It's a little like having red hair, but it's one factor. Going forward, I find, particularly after having written Yellowface, that I'm maybe not so interested in writing about multiculturalism anymore. I feel like that's kind of been done, and I did some of it. And that, for me, internationalism is the new multiculturalism. That it's no longer sufficient to look at things like diversity and the way that different groups see the world differently. It's no longer sufficient just to consider that within our own borders. I think now it's more interesting to me to look at how this applies on a world basis. And as a result, I think that there's a kind of a stream of my work that's always kind of involved international issues. And Butterfly certainly is not an Asian American play, except that it was written by an Asian American. Most of the things I'm working on now have a lot to do with the US-China relations, and I'm actually quite interested in how this is all going to evolve. And it's been very strange, really, and fascinating being a Chinese American and living through the period that I've lived in to see how American views of China have really gone shifted like 180 degrees. Like when I was a kid, China was, a place like eat your food because of the kids that are starving in China. So China was considered sort of poor, backwards, dysfunctional, and that's how Asian Americans were considered also. That we were sort of poor, uneducated, menial laborers, coast waiters, laundrymen. At this point, the stereotype has gone completely 180 degrees, so now we have too much money, we have too much education, and we raise the curve in math class. So that's, and now China is no longer a poor, dysfunctional country. It's the country that's challenging America to be the next superpower. And how's this all going to evolve? And how's that going to affect me as a Chinese American? I feel that that is the area that I'm investigating now. So as you all kind of go on your artistic journeys, people often ask me, well, what should I write about? And I think that there's two things that's important to know. One is that nobody ever knows what's going to be successful. It's easy to look back now and go, oh, and Butterfly was always going to be successful. I sale at all. We had gotten creamed out of town in DC. One of the producers had tried to abort the show. The other producer had to mortgage his house to get us to New York. And the cast had a betting pool about when the show was going to close. Wow. So there is no guarantee at all that the show was going to be a success. But it was something that I wanted to do. And so if you write what you believe in, if you work in the practice you believe in, whether or not they become successful, you get what you need to get out of it. And then if the thing is a success, then it's kind of icing on the cake. If you write something to try and be successful, and I've done that also, and it's not successful, then you kind of lost everything. So what you need to work on is the thing, it's kind of like falling in love. Like, you know, when you first fall in love with somebody, and you just sort of think about that person, you want to be with that person, when you're not with that person, you're thinking about them, that's the thing you should write about. And the good thing is putting on a show takes, you know, maybe 3 or 4 years. So you only have to sustain that passion for 3 or 4 years. In real life, you know, once you get married, you have to try to sustain it a lot longer, and it's harder. So I think ultimately, if I've been able to have a long career, and hopefully will continue to have a career, it's because I do try to respect the journey and respect the fact that the process is messy and there are surprises along the way. And I wish you all really